Hey beautiful people, it's your girl Mel here from Team You Finance. I hope everybody's doing well today. I want to talk about having multiple bank accounts. That's right, having your money in multiple places to earn multiple interest. All right, but before I get into it, please, if you get a moment, please comment, like, subscribe, and share the content. I remember a couple years ago, I was traveling. This had to be maybe 10, 15 years ago. I was going on a trip. As a matter of fact, I was going to the Caribbean, right? And at this time right now, that'll be a nice trip, okay? In any event, I got to the airport, I had everything ready, and I decided that I needed some money from the ATM. So I ended up going over to one of the ATMs and I tried to withdraw some money. Now, the bank that I was trying to withdraw the money from is, of course, America's biggest bank. So you know which bank that is. And there's a reason why I'm giving you a background of who the bank is, because it really made a difference. In any event, I tried to withdraw my cash. When I was trying to withdraw my cash, I kept getting these little receipt tapes, these little error messages that were basically coming through the machine. So it read, I think I tried at least 3 times to get my money out. It wasn't working. So finally, I decided to call the 800 number on the little receipt tape. It says to contact your bank at once. And I did. Now, mind you, I'm going to give you a little bit more background. This is a very, very, very early morning flight. This is like a 5 a.m. flight. So you know that I can't necessarily go somewhere else to withdraw money. If anything, I should have had that money the day before. And again, I always emphasize preparation is key. But in any case, I was trying to get some money to, go on my trip. So upon calling the bank, I got the representative on the phone. The representative said to me that there seems to be some type of fraudulent activity on my account. I was like, fraud? I was like, no, it's me. They asked me where I was, what state, what location. I verified who I was, and they said, okay. So the lady asked me a series of questions. She was asking me what was my last deposit, transactions that I made, all the questions that they verify when you call the bank, right? In any event, the lady said to me, she said, okay, here's the deal. She said, the rate at how you were trying to take the money out the ATM flagged the computer, made us believe basically that it was fraudulent activity. So at that point, we should have really shut your card down. I said, please don't do that, because if you shut my card down, I have no other way of getting some money to go on my trip. She said, you're going on a trip? I said, yes. I said, right now I'm at an airport and I'm trying to use the airport's ATM. And it's not allowing me. That's why I ended up calling y'all. And she was like, that was another thing. She said, that's not your usual transactions based on the area. Because again, these banks, they monitor. It's always a red flag if there's like a different state where a purchase trying to come through, or a different county or a different town. I think it sends a red flag in their computers, which is a good thing. So that was one of the red flags that, the bank noticed when I was trying to withdraw my money. So I ended up speaking with her, and she said to me, here's the deal. She says, you've been a customer with us for years, and we're not going to shut you down. We're going to basically allow you to withdraw. But she was like, but here's the only thing. She was like, we need to verify or put in our system exactly where you're going. I said, I have no problems with letting you know where I'm going. Again, I'm going to the Caribbean, so I'll let anybody know I'm going to the Caribbean. In any event, she also asked me a series of questions about the place that I was going. And I remember her saying to me, she says, have you ever traveled there before? And I said, multiple times I've been there. She said, okay. She said, being that you know where you're going and it's a familiar place to you, or you've had experience going there, can you list and tell me some places that you might stop, that you might need to use the ATM, or that you will need to use the ATM again, or to withdraw money? I said, well, if there's any Western Unions, is there any other type of, they call them cambios, any type of cambios or kiosk, whatever that, disperses money, I'll go there. And she said, okay, does this country have states? I said, well, no, we don't call them states there. I said, they have something called parishes in that country. She said, okay, give me a list or an idea of the parish/state or province that you might be in, so we could notate this. She said, why? Because anytime there's any activity other than the ones that you list, it's going to let the bank know, again, if there's any fraud or if anything happens, with your card. I said, okay. So I told her where I was going specifically, how many days, the vicinity of the area that I was going to be in. All right. God bless her, she was very nice. Like I said, she didn't shut the card down, or the bank didn't shut the card down, and they allowed me to get the money, right? And I withdrew my money, and she said, thank you for being a valued customer, and so forth. I don't know, maybe because I've been with them for so long, maybe that's why they decided to, let it go, or, let me withdraw the money. So I got my money, which is really, really wonderful. I went on my trip, and of course, I had a great time in the Caribbean. That was years ago, maybe 12 years ago when I think back. That was years ago. And again, security and technology wasn't even that advanced as it is now. So can you imagine how, quick they were in stopping or preventing any fraud on my card? All right. So where am I going with the story that I told you? Well, first thing, I realized later that while I was at the airport, if I'd had another bank account, and at the time I only had that one bank account, and I'm still with the bank, I've only had that one bank account at that time. I had, my check-ins there, I had my checking account, I had my savings account, I had everything. I also had, at the time, I had like a little vacation club account. So I had basically 3 products that I got from the one bank. Now, I'm not telling you that the bank was the problem. The bank was not the problem. The problem was that basically I had all my money, everything coming into that bank, my direct deposit, everything. I only had my egg in one basket. So when I had potentially gotten stuck or was about to get stuck because I couldn't withdraw my money, I was, it was about to ruin my vacation. In any event, after, getting through and getting my money, it dawned on me. I realized, I was like, you know what? I need to have more than one bank account. I should have one more bank account because 1, maybe 2, 3 more bank accounts, whatever the number is. I needed to have my money in different places, because had that lady not allow me, or had that bank not allow me to withdraw my money, although they believed something was fraudulent, or they thought they detected fraud, I would have never been able to withdraw my money. Now, of course, I would have still gone on my trip, but then I would have to go through the headache of having a family member, somebody else send me money while they're there. I would have had to borrow, let them know my business and all of that stuff, which I didn't really want anybody to know. I mean, this is not a secret, but I'm going on a trip. You don't need to know that my bank shut my card down or try to shut my card down, and I'm traveling, I don't have no money and all sorts of stuff. Again, because I keep, when it comes to money, I keep certain things private. Going back to what I was saying, it dawned on me that I should have had the accounts. So later on, when I did return back from my vacation, I went to another bank. As a matter of fact, I went to a credit union and I opened up another account. And then later, I ended up opening several accounts. I opened several accounts from different places. You know the reason why I opened all those accounts? Because I learned a lesson that if one bank or even a branch of a bank shuts down or stops anything, I have an option to go somewhere else and get my money. I don't want to be stuck. So I would tell anybody that there are many benefits in having multiple bank accounts. All right. Number one of the benefits that you get when you open multiple bank accounts is that the banks, they give you like a little bonus for opening all those accounts. Okay. Most banks, if not all these days, they'll tell you, listen, if you open an account here and you have a certain amount of money coming in, a certain direct deposit within a specific time period, many times it's like 30 to 90 days, they'll say, listen, we'll give you a bonus. Sometimes the bonuses be up to $200-$300. It all depends on what you deposit. But again, they have their little specific requirements of what you have to do to get those monies. So that's a benefit. So those are one of the benefits of opening or having different bank accounts. The second thing is that you're basically spreading your money all over the place. Now, every bank is FDIC insured. But what I'm saying is, if you're just using one bank and anything happens, although they're covered by the FDIC, there might be a pause on your money if you need your money for, specific reasons or for an emergency. Now think about it. If you had your money in different banks and that bank that you had your second account or your third account didn't have an issue, you would have been able to access your money. You don't want to leave your money in one place where you're not able to access your money yesterday. You need to have access of your money immediately. And that's what almost happened to me had my card been shut down. All right. Those are just some of the benefits of having multiple bank accounts. Another reason why it's good to have a multiple bank account, just as I was going on my vacation to the Caribbean, had I planned better or well, I would have been able, because honestly, I'll be honest with you, I didn't save anything towards that vacation. The money that I was using, just my money that I had there from my job, and I was just, withdrawing my money. But sometimes when you have multiple bank accounts, you could set goals. That's where I'm going with this. Set goals. You could set vacation goals. You could set goals, for an emergency fund. You could set goals if you want to buy like a home or a car. Any little thing that you want to buy, you set goals, and you have those monies going into a separate bank account. Right? That's another great reason to have separate bank accounts. And I think the biggest one, or the best one in my opinion, is that when you have multiple bank accounts, let's say you got let's say up to 3. I'm good at 3, 2, 3, wherever you want to spend your money. When you have a couple bank accounts, okay, let's say you have one for savings, you have one for checking, you might have a money market account, whatever type of account that you have. The one that's for savings is the one that you really put things away, you put aside. But if you have separate bank accounts, it kind of prevents you or keeps you away from dipping into your savings should an emergency arise. It's like another cushion when you have an additional bank account. You know it's there. Because remember, you're the one that's funding it. You know that you're getting your interest. You know everything is growing. But you're not tempted to break into that account right away. You kind of give yourself a spread and some room to wait until you actually get money from somewhere else. Those are just some of the benefits of having your multiple bank accounts. And I would advise anybody. Prior to that time, when I had the issue with the bank when I was traveling, a friend of mine that I worked in another bank, another big bank, she said to me, Mel, you ever thought about, putting your money other places? Because again, it's finance. People don't really like to dip into people's business when it comes to money. But she did suggest it. We are just having regular conversation one day talking about money. And so she said, you know what? You should always consider putting your money separate places. Don't ever just count on one bank. And at the time when she told me, I didn't do it. But lo and behold, when what happened to me at the airport with, my card almost getting locked, or seized, it dawned on me that, you know what? She was right. And so finally, it was later, but I ended up taking the advice. And it's the same type of thing that I would tell anybody. Please ensure that you have more than one bank account. Spread your money in multiple places. Put your money in places where you're getting the best for your money. I always tell people, I said, if you want a great way to save, to really ensure that you're getting the best interest rate for your money, I always tell people, open a high yield savings account. High yield savings account, they give you great interest rates. Your regular bank gives you lower rates because, again, banks are in the business of making money. But when you have those high yield savings accounts from those banks, because they're banks too. They're banks. They're regular banks. Some of them are fintech companies. Some of them, they just rest online, so you don't really need to go in anywhere at a branch. You find the local ATMs to put your money. When you have those high yield savings accounts, you're getting up to, if you do your research, up to 5% interest rate. It's better to spread your money in multiple places. Once you spread your money multiple places, you're getting multiple interest, you're earning high, you're doing well. It's a great, great way to grow your funds and level up your money. All right, beautiful people. As always, I always ask you to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you got this far in my message, I thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful, and a wonderful day.